Thanks. Mitch, did you think 315 was chaseable there, and where did things go wrong for you guys?
Yeah, I certainly thought 315 was chaseable. Where we had them towards the back in their innings, I probably thought 280 to 290 was par. We had a few things that didn't go our way towards the back end, and they batted very well. And then any time you're chasing that sort of total, you just need one or two big partnerships. We weren't able to get that today, so disappointing, but hats off to South Africa.
It's just something on the Wanderers. Is it? You've played here a few times. Can you tell us something about the atmosphere when South Africa gets on top? Does it just become a little bit more intimidating than other venues around the country?
It's certainly probably the biggest crowd throughout the country. From my experience, it's a fantastic place to play cricket. And as international cricketers, you want to play in front of big crowds. And today was fantastic. They were very loud, and as you said, once South Africa got on top, they were right on board. So it's always a great place to come and play, and very hard to win.
I guess it's one that either of you can answer, but what did you learn about yourselves in this series? And I know you were missing a few players, but things that you can take forward into India.
Yours?
I can answer that one. No, clearly we've played some debutants on this tour. We've been stretched a little bit with injuries. I think the way that we attack the power play with our top order batting, with Travis, Davey, and obviously Mitch in that top three, we had to readjust that on the back of an injury, but I thought that was a real positive. There's plenty of room for improvement. There's no doubt in the last three games we're a little bit sloppy in all three phases, and a little bit of execution, decision making, and we're going to sharpen those things up coming into a World Cup. But as Mitch said, I think South Africa played some brilliant cricket, almost full strength team as well. So you've just got to give credit to your opponent sometimes, but there's no doubt we need to sharpen up.
Andrew, just following up on that and what Mitch said about, at one stage it looked 280 was where South Africa were headed. The fielding display today, you must have been pretty disappointed with catches being missed, some of the ground fielding, and then obviously a crucial run out in the final over, which cost you 20 odd runs.
Yeah, as I said, there's areas that we can definitely sharpen up on, and there's some execution issues out there today, and that's no different to any other game of cricket. There's a couple of catches that went down that were costly. But then you look at the positives, and Marnus has run out early to get Bavuma. That was a brilliant piece of fielding. So we're playing some good cricket in patches, but there's no doubt that we need a bit more consistency across the 100 overs that are available to play.
Out of the four venues that you guys played off in this series, I think Bloemfontein is closest as you can get to India. And the fact that you guys won in those two games, do you zoom into those and feel like you guys are ready for India? Just looking at the fact that you guys performed well in those conditions.
I certainly thought we started the series well. We played some really good cricket. Go back to the T20 series, we played some really good cricket as well with some young guys that came into our squad. So, as Andrew said, there's plenty of positives to take. 6 months ago we won a series in India, which is very hard to do, so we still take a lot of confidence moving into the World Cup. We've still got 5 games to go until it starts, so plenty of time to touch up the areas that we need to improve on. But I still think there's plenty of positives coming out of this tour.
Mitch, the major difference between the T20 series and now the ODIs were how Australia put together good partnerships at great times whenever you guys lose a wicket in order to be on top. Are you at all worried at any point about how you failed to do that in the last 3 games where the batsmen who are in lose their wickets and then wickets just fall in clumps?
I wouldn't say we're worried about it, but it's certainly an area that, you look at the history of one-day cricket, any team that's chasing or setting a total, you need partnerships to win, to set totals or to chase them. So that's a really simple key marker for us to improve. It just comes down to all of our batters getting it done.
And you just following up on that, you said one of the positives was how aggressive your team was in the power play, and you had the Proteas under pressure, I think every power play, every match. But what followed that, is there an argument for maybe a bit more clever batting in the sort of middle overs? I mean, is that Mitchell mentioned partnerships as well? I mean, it seemed you get away to these blazing starts. I'm sure you don't mind losing 1 or 2 wickets in the power play, but then the wickets just seem to keep falling.
Yeah, you always got to strike that balance over the 50 overs, and you know, the T20 series highlighted earlier. You can go harder, no doubt, because the game's condensed. Yeah, we've got to temper that. We've got to assess the conditions through those middle overs. Yeah, we can't afford to expose our lower order hitters in sort of 6 and 7 where we do have some good power down there too early, and that happened a little bit too often in this series, and it's something that we need to tighten up on. We've got some personnel that will come back in that no doubt can assist in that space, but yeah, you can't win too many games of cricket if you're getting exposed 4 or 5 down before the halfway mark of the innings. So that's a key area for improvement. But as I said, the positive is that we are putting attacks under pressure at the top of the order, and that no doubt can disrupt the opponent, and then that gives us an opportunity to potentially pull it back through the middle overs and to respond at the back end as well. So yeah, there's improvements there, and that's clearly one of them that you've identified.
Mitch, for someone like yourself that's been around for a while and having played against a couple of different types of South African teams, can you chat a little bit about this South African team and not where you rate them amongst the others, but what value do they bring?
I think they're just a very well-rounded team. They got some of the best middle order batters in the world. They've got a great top order. They can play 2 spin when they need to, and they've got good fast bowling. So they're a very well-rounded international cricket team, and yeah, they're going to be tough to beat throughout the World Cup. But hopefully we get one up on them when that time comes.
Thanks, guys. We might go online now. We'll start with Andrew McGlashan.
Thanks, Dave. Andrew, this is probably a question for you. What have you seen from Marnus in the last couple of weeks? Obviously, he wasn't part of the squad very originally, has come in and scored runs. It looks quite likely that you will need a replacement batter for the World Cup. Are you confident with what Marnus can now bring to the ODI side?
Yeah, I can't talk on behalf of the selection panel and sort of lock him away for a World Cup 15, but it's no doubt looking likely. I think he's made a significant shift in his intent at the crease and putting the bowlers under pressure from where he was potentially 12 months ago. And I think he struck at around 100 strike rate during this series and was a leading run scorer. So we know Marnus is a quality player. He probably didn't have the 12 to 18 months that he would have liked in one-day international cricket, but he's come in and he's taken that opportunity and he's grabbed it with both hands, and there's no doubt that he'll be front and centre when it comes to the 15-man squad later on down the track.
Thanks, Andrew.
Mark Gleeson.
Can I just ask you for an update on Travis Head's injury on Friday night? You said it was a fracture, but there were still scans to go through. Have you got any more of a sort of an update? Can he play in the World Cup more specifically?
The time frame is still a little bit loose at the moment, but the good news is that he doesn't require surgery as it sits at the moment. So the follow-up scan confirmed the fracture. It was in a joint. As I said, I'm not a medical person the other night. But yeah, there'll be an extended period of time out, and we're just got to weigh up whether that time falls potentially with an option to carry him through the front half of the World Cup, but there'll be no doubt that he won't be available for the front half. So that's a decision we'll need to make in terms of the final 15. But I can't give you an exact time frame.
Louis Cameron.
Another one for Dr. Andrew. What's going on with Sean Abbott with his finger, and it was Nathan Ellis? Did he pick something up as well there? Was that why he couldn't bowl at the end?
Yeah, I'll start with Nathan Ellis. So yeah, we had to shift our plans towards a death there. Throughout the innings, he just picked up a smaller adductor strain, so that'll be assessed tomorrow. But he couldn't complete his allotted overs, and you would have seen running between the wickets, he was significantly hampered there as well. So we'll need to assess that one. Sean Abbott, just a split webbing in between the middle finger. And yeah, it was a great effort for him to get back out there, bowl, contribute, get through his 10 overs and put on some handy runs there. So full credit to him. So just a standard split webbing. So I think that'll be potentially just over a week, and he can potentially play with stitches as well. So, yeah, he won't be ruled out at this stage.
Could I just ask you, Andrew, as well about Mitch and what you thought of his captain? Like, have you kind of thought that he's the man to, that if Pat did have to miss a game at the World Cup, that he'd be able to do it again? And Mitch, do you want to do it again?
So who's that question for, Louis?
He can answer that too.
First part to you, second part to Mitch.
Yeah, there's no doubt Mitch did an incredible job over here. His first time captaining the country in both formats, 3-0 in the T20s, and off to a good start in the one-day series with 2-0 up. So, yeah, I was impressed by the way Mitch led. We had a lot of moving parts. We had multiple changes each game with some injuries, and yeah, making sure that we're prepped as well as we can be for the World Cup. So I thought the way that he carried himself and was able to manage the troops out there was very impressive. In terms of decisions moving forward, we'll assess them, but it was clearly just for this series in South Africa. But he has given us an option, there's no doubt about that. Do you want to do it? That was the second question, wasn't it, Louis?
Paddy Cummins took my captain's suite this while we're in Joburg, so I'm out.